Welcome back on the channel, guys. S24 Ultra running the latest stable One UI 7 May update. I think I got 2 updates in May. The version here is ZYES. This thing here is the S25 Ultra running the 6th test firmware, what is now considered to be very soon the official second beta of One UI 8 with Android 16, and the version is ZYES. Now guys, I spotted some differences between One UI 8, Android 16, One UI 7, Android 15, and I wanted to show them to you. So let me directly go first inside the settings, because a lot of the things are very minimal. There's just some design changes that will allow Samsung to make One UI 7 better and somehow also unified with Android 16. I'm gonna start with the small things and then also gradually show you the bigger things. So first thing noted here, pay attention to the battery icon. So the battery icon inside the settings menu in One UI 8 is different compared to what we have here. Then I'm going to continue with the other things that I don't believe are big enough, but they're still changes. So when I go inside device care, you're going to see that they're using here a different font. So I have here now the smiley face with a good indication, and it's a bit different in One UI 7. You can see the text here is highlighted in black. Overall, no big changes here. Everything is absolutely the same. So inside device care, those are the things that I was able to see. Now, pay attention, guys. Now I'm going to go inside the app sections. It all looks the same, right? When I click here, though, I am having something else in One UI 8. So besides the permission manager, the special apps, and the result app preferences, I now have the recommended apps, which will give you all the applications that are available from Samsung, which is pretty much what Google also is doing. Like, you know, Samsung Notes, we have the reminder, all the calendar apps, the calculator. So this is also something that Apple is doing. So now they're trying to push to you recommended apps in case you want to do so, which is, I do believe, nice, because from here you can very easily get to an app that you don't have, for example, and you want to download it. So how does this work? You can just press on the app, or let's say you can start on the app, or let's say you can just see now, right now I'm downloading the app. So this is again something new. Now let's start at the top of the list. I'm gonna go inside the connections. It all looks the same until the moment you go inside the Bluetooth. Even there, everything is the same, but guys, pay attention. Now we have the new feature, broadcast sound using Auracast. I have it also on One UI 7, but it completely looks different. So we have this very big bar here with nice animation. Happy people listening to, you know, copyright-free music. So broadcast the sound from this phone to others that can listen. So from here you can start the broadcast. I can even show you how it works. So the moment I start the broadcast, okay, this is gonna work like this. Again, I'm gonna get this very same design that One UI 8 and Samsung are trying to push with this update, and I'm gonna share. So memorize this pattern here. Why is this pattern important, guys? Because, for example, if you go inside the gallery, all right, this is the old gallery in One UI 7 or the current one, and you're going inside the menu, the tools, you're gonna get, you know, this, and this is the new updated bar, and you can see this thing is translucent, so it's transparent, and this thing can be also seen in other Samsung apps like the internet. I've now started the Samsung internet browser on both my devices, and this is the tools menu on the current version in One UI 7. This is the tools menu in One UI 8. So you have this option here for a very easy bookmark and also sharing the page, but it's also translucent. And this is why I was saying this thing from the Auracast, because Samsung apparently are trying to unify the design language. And you can see this also in some other apps. They try to redesign some other Samsung stock apps. For example, this is the My Files. Now you can see the whole section is moved here, where you have the images, the videos, and etc. The recent files also has changed, because right now on the old or the current version in One UI 7 we have recent files where you can check all the files, but here you got like a whole sub menu, and even more, you can just filter and select like what is the source from this file. Is it like the camera, you know, is it something you saved from the Samsung internet, which is kind of handy. And another thing that was made available with the first official Samsung beta was the new updated reminder app. So the reminder app right now is able to take, you know, notes as you speak, but I do believe that they have a bug here, because you can see that the speech to text is not so aligned. But now you can use the reminder app with voice activation to get your reminders, and it does have also like the scrolling menu, which I think is kind of cool. This is the old one. You can see like this thing here is completely redesigned. It uses a whole other different layout, and then you can see all these nice big chunks, big bars that are overall inside the design language. So I'm just thinking One UI 8 is going to take a different direction from One UI 7. It's going to polish the things, but it's going to use One UI 7 as a stable foundation and then just try to polish everything and make it hopefully perfect. All right, guys. Now, as I'm inside the settings, let's explore for some new things, because there are several sections that are really reorganized, like for example, the notifications one. This thing here is One UI 8, and we can see how much more information we have. So Samsung are for sure regrouping some of the menus. So we have the app notifications here as well. All right, this works absolutely the same. Okay, although of course, even when you click inside, you're going to see there's some differences. So for example, here I can click on all and select all of those. Here this works on the right. As you can see, they're really trying to change all these design elements and just kind of use the second portion here in the bottom of the screen for more context, which I do believe makes sense, because again, when you click here, boom, you're gonna get something here down below at the bottom, and you get this inside the files. You get this also inside some of the other Samsung apps, which kind of makes sense, but this thing here is not the bigger change. So we do have in One UI 7 lock screen notification, status bar notification pop-up style, and no description on the grouping. And here, guys, we do have a better description. So for example, if you want to change things related to appearance, okay, they're here. So under appearance, we have the status bar and we have the lock screen. So you can already see it's reorganized. And then we have do not disturb and advanced settings. The whole notification menu has been rearranged. Let's start with the notification pop-up style. All right. So this is One UI 7. We have brief and detailed. It's all the same, but you get a bit more text, a bit more description here. And also something that is important, guys, they're trying to not only change the design elements, the graphical elements, but also put more context, just changing titles. For example, edge lighting style. All right, here now it's called outlining effect, or color by keyword in One UI 7 is now called lighting effect color by keyword in One UI 8. So they're trying to give a bit more of that context to the end user, because believe it or not, One UI 8, in general, One UI 8 really has a lot of options and a lot of settings, and can become sometimes messy. Even when you go to the status bar, you can see it's the same, but now they're redesigning, reshuffling things. So on One UI 7 we have dot, icons and none, right? And here we have icons on the left, dot in the middle, and none. So you can really see what Samsung are trying to do. They're just trying to take the One UI 7 foundation and just polish it and make it really, really great. Now, what about sort and filter notifications? This is the menu that will allow you to filter your notifications by time priority, and also filter on alt or background activities, or minimize notification. This thing is not available directly from here, so Samsung are trying to kind of regroup some of the settings to make a bit more sense. And when you go to advanced settings, you can see here, guys, in advanced settings, it's kind of the same. So we have now a separate grouping, but sadly here no description. So we have notification history, we have the show up in notification, show the snooze button. Those things here are just scattered throughout the whole menu, and the only common thing is the wireless emergency alerts, which is kind of a standalone menu, but they've taken a lot of these things from One UI 7 and they try to group them in this standalone groups, which I believe kind of makes sense. And most probably in the next iteration on One UI 8, they're gonna just put some tiles there so that people can understand, okay, what the heck is happening. All right, guys, more stuff inside notifications, but I think I show you the main one. What about the Galaxy AI? Now, Galaxy AI, I think it's completely the same, although now I have it for my secure folder. By entering your PIN information, you're able to now use Galaxy AI also for secure folder, which means you can use it for writing assist, interpreter, stuff like this, note assist. So, completely have AI on your secure things if that's your thing. Now, the next things, guys, that I wanted to show, this is the modern routines. Here, there are really a lot of changes. So let me just start by trying to add a new routine. I'll probably do a whole video on this because they put so many new things here, and I'm just gonna try to show you some examples. So let's try to scroll down until I found the gallery. So this is the gallery, right? If you want to use and create a routine on One UI 7, you can do these actions like share images, show images, and move images to the recycle bin. And now, guys, besides all these things, you can also try to find images, by keyword or during a specific period. Most of these things are new, and I do believe they're great, since I know a lot of people that really use routines. Let me show you even on clocks. In One UI 7, if you want to use something like a routine on clocks, then you can turn on alarms, turn off alarms, start a timer. It's just like the standard stuff. But here, guys, now you can not only create alarms, but you can also use the stopwatch. You can find alarms. So they're trying to really make it be more clever. And again, I'm not gonna focus now on modes and routines because believe it or not, guys, there are plenty of new things. And besides that, we're not done with the settings. Let me show you more changes. So besides, of course, the new battery icon, when I click inside the battery, all right, first glance, it's all the same. What happens when I click the battery protection? In One UI 7, we have basic, adaptive, and maximum. All right, let me show you how this works. If I choose the maximum one, I can set it up from 80% to 95%. It's the same here, guys. But see, the moment I click on maximum here, the adaptive one is just gonna go away because it's actually, for a reason, grouped into a separate tile here. I'm not even sure why. This doesn't really make a lot of sense. But okay, let's say that you have basic and maximum. And because advanced protection is nor basic, neither maximum, maybe this is why they decided to just group it like this. But you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to really play with the interface and try to find more and more new things for you or for us to test. Something that I think I showed in one of my other videos. If you want to use and change the wallpaper, they added 2 new dynamic wallpapers, and the moment you start using them, and I'm not going to show this in this video because I'll show this in my videos prior, it's gonna change the color of your screen on your lock screen and also on the home screen, which I do believe is kind of nice. And guys, believe it or not, but there are really more changes besides this, and now I'm gonna show you some of the cool stuff that I was able to find. Now let's try to go inside the up drawer. All right, inside the up drawer, things are pretty standard, so you can still use the alphabetical order or, you know, the custom order if you want to go crazy. You know, like people are really crying about that, and now it's good that they brought this back. But guys, the main change here, pay attention, I'm gonna click here on the search. All right, so this thing here is my finder, or I say this is how I want to search some things inside the One UI 7. Let's see what happens when I do the same. Right, you can see again we have here this transparent, translucent style of menu, which is kind of nice. And believe it or not, guys, there are even more things that kind of make sense. So I'm going to try to access my volume settings. So I'm going to search for volume on both of my phones. Remember, this was introduced by Google a while ago, and now, guys, Samsung are just trying to take this to the next step in One UI 8. Okay, so what happens here, guys? I am searching for volume, I volume monitor, right? And it gives me the same settings, okay? So the first change here is apparently I can click here to show more, right? I don't have show more here because I have this arrow. And I think it's kind of cool. Let me try to show you, because with this arrow now I can collapse and uncollapse the settings, right? And what happens when I click show more, it's going to bombard me with all the settings. And if I want to just uncollapse them, I need to click show fewer, which, you know, it's not so convenient. So again, this is also very close to what I've showed you with the apps. Remember when I was reviewing the apps section? Now they are using this type of menu where you can filter things around, and the filtering happens on the right, which is cool. And something else, guys, now this thing here, you see there is a settings and also a sign, and this is a clickable thing. Okay, you can click this on One UI 7, but it's not going to work like this. And the moment you go outside, it's going to just bring you back to the same menu. Else, I do believe they work in exactly the same way. But see here, guys, I have search, show more, and now if I go down, I'm gonna get the search. They're gonna pretty much give you basically the same information. But again, the main change here is it's translucent, and now it's a bit more interactive, so you can very easily access the things. And see, guys, I think it's a good addition, because right now I'm using this very nice wallpaper, right? And I can kind of see the ninja, right? You see, and I have the same wallpaper here, but with a different gradient color on the One UI 7, and I don't really like that too much. And there are more changes like this, guys. So let me try to add a widget here. So I'm gonna go inside my widget settings, and I'm gonna try to add the suggested apps. Okay, this is a good one. So let me just try to do this simultaneously on both phones, and I'm gonna be using 4x1 and just adding this. I've now added the same widget on my home page, and check, like, the whole bar here is just bigger, right? And I'm not 100% sure if the icons are bigger, but it's more aligned to the corners here on the left, on the right side. And on One UI 7, the whole bar is shorter and it's not so aligned, which I believe is, again, one more sign that Samsung are really going into the right direction. Also, pay attention, guys. This thing here is my Now Brief. It has exactly the same size as this thing here. By the way, I did an animation comparison between the One UI unofficial beta 2 versus the One UI 7, and the animations I think are also different. I'm gonna just give you a very short example with X. So I'm gonna open X and close it, and you can see now the opening animation on One UI 8 is just quicker. All right, so see here, boom, and yep, one more time, boom, opening animation, definitely quicker. And also pay attention to the birds, guys. I'm gonna open it, I'm gonna exit it, and the zoom out effect on the One UI 8, I do believe, is even more pronounced than in One UI 7. Now, this thing here is important because it not only aligns the whole widget area with the icons and also with this design element and with the other design elements. But let's go on the lock screen, all right? Let me show you on the lock screen. It's the same. I'm using the same widgets on the lock screen, and you can see that now the widgets on my lock screen are just bigger, which is kind of good, okay? One more time, I'm gonna show you. This is here always on, this is the lock screen, right? Again, I'm using the same wallpaper, by the way. I was not able to find any other changes here, guys, but if you wanna add some widgets on your always on and on your lock screen, they're going to be just bigger. And again, this is gonna be aligned also with the other design elements, such as the ones here. Some other things I spotted, and they're a bit peculiar. If I go inside the battery and I click here to battery information, on One UI 8 I'm gonna get more information, such as battery health and also the battery cycle count, the manufacturer date and when it was first used. And that's a bit weird because while we were testing One UI 7 betas for S24 Ultra, this was also available there. So for some reason right now I don't have it, right? But you see what I mean now. And also they're providing here more contextual info. When you press on the I button here, you're gonna understand what exactly is the battery cycle count, okay, manufacturer date, first use date. A lot of these things I understand are really self-explanatory, but it works like. Now let me show you some other cool stuff, and for this I'm going to open my Edge panel and I'm gonna start this thing here. So this is X and Spotify. See how much I'm able to expand the surface here on this app. And on One UI 7, the moment I want to do this, yeah, it's going to already maximize this up. See here, guys, it is not going to allow me. And believe it or not, there is even another cool feature that I believe is inspired by Android 16. See here, guys, right? You can now very easily, you know, swap this area, which is, I think this thing is very, very cool, guys. I really like it. This can be also useful in case you want to watch a Facebook video and then go on Telegram and comment with friends. So there's some new things here in that area as well. Also, okay, let me just open X. All right, I want to show you something else. Now what I want to do, I'm going to take X and put it here as a standalone pop-up window. And now guys, see, this really makes more sense. It really looks more like it's supposed to be. So now the X button is circled, right? So it's there and it's on the right place where usually it's going to be if you use, let's say, Windows Explorer on Windows. Okay, the context menu right here is on the left, he's on the right, which kind of doesn't really make sense. And we have also another button, you know, like for just minimizing it, which is this thing here. I've now started the voice recorder, and this is something that I believe I showed in some of my previous videos. So let's say that I am talking right now. Okay, I'm gonna save it. So right now everything looks the same, right? And the moment I go inside, guys, you're gonna see it's a bit different. Why? Because on One UI 7, where Galaxy AI was introduced, here we have the AI symbol with the transcription. Here we only have transcribe, but then the AI is on top, and it's better because when I click it, I can not only do the transcription, which I can get from that button, right? But only this, but now I can also do a summarization and a translation. So it's now gonna transcribe my audio, and then from here, guys, I'm gonna be able to also do a summary. Here, guys, I need to first transcribe it and then maybe, you know, do some other stuff. Basically, what Samsung are doing, they're really trying to make things easier for us, because now on One UI 7, I do have the transcript, and of course now I can click the summary. From here, just easy, right? I can click summary and it's going to be presented in that way. So you see, right now, I'm not only able to check the summary, but also my text. Okay, so here, if I click the summary, I don't see the text. So again, small changes, but I do believe that they want to use this bottom part of the phone for more user interaction. Things like the new tools here inside the gallery, also with blur, and kind of try to use this section, which makes sense for us, right? Because we're using the phones like this. So let's say if I go inside the gallery, you know, I'm gonna be able to access this with my thumb. Or let's say if I'm using this thing here, okay, I'm gonna be able to check the summary. Of course, I need to also use my other hand because the options are here, but let's see how they're gonna play it. They're trying to shift away from being that scattered and try to use like the same design elements all over again, which is something good, I believe. And let's see how this is gonna turn out. This thing here is the S25 Ultra, guys, One UI beta 2, the unofficial version. This thing here is the S24 Ultra with the One UI 7. We're gonna keep updating you guys, so if you want to check what happens over the course of the next few weeks until we get the final and stable One UI 8, yeah, you know what to do. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay safe, VST over and bye.